Hello, good evening and welcome back to TTTV. This is the Esports Mini League 1, rounds 3 and 4, with the first round taking us to the legendary Italian Grand Prix at Monza for round 3 of Mini League 1. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for this one is James Head. James, you've already done Mini League 2 today with some very interesting results. You're pumped up now for League 1?
Yeah, pumped up for League 1. We're in Italy, track that I covered last week, of course, in Mini League 2, of course, Germany as well, which I covered last week. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a great night of action once again.
Yeah, hopefully we get some great action as we did last time around. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel below. Make sure as well that basically you go and follow all the leagues. That's the main thing. Obviously we have some points here, so James, why don't you go through the points for Mini League 1 as it stands right now?
So coming into tonight's racing, Liberty Racing are leading on 134 points. Very impressive total from last week, of course. TTG Esports filling out that second place on 95 points. I make that 39 points difference between 30, I might have miscounted. Anyways, 95 points they're on. TMC in third on 86 points, then CPI in fourth on 74. There's roughly 21 points separating second to fourth, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how they get on. And then, sadly, TTG Academy down on 33 points. It looks inevitable that it's going to end up as being a relegation, but come on, lads. The academy managers here, get pumped up for the race. Let's give a good performance.
Well, that's a damning sign, isn't it? Quite a way off the distance that they need, and it sort of reminds me of one of those relegation dogfights. They're going to be throwing everything that they can at this, but they need really results to go their way. You never wish to you never want to wish ill of any of your opposition, but they'll be hoping for a few retirements up ahead. We go through the teams right now, as scheduled by the drivers' lineup. Now, obviously, we get sent this about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before, and every single time it changes. So I take it with a pinch of salt. However, for TMC we have CR7, Expertum, Wesker and Goethe. We also have for Livid, we have Francis, Poe, R2 and Hugo. For CPI we have Lewis, Jompalainen, Ferrari and Simo. I'm going to go Simo. Simo. Yeah, that sounds right. For the TTG Esports team, we have Lyronix, Jack, Sinclair and Honey. And for the TTG Academy team, we have Sean, Bishy, Warren and Alan Kay. Of course, Alan Kay was with us in the commentary box last time out. He's hoping to add some valuable experience to the TTG Academy team. And let me just throw this question over to you, James. Obviously, Livid have got quite a lead at the top there. Do you see them sealing the win today?
Looking at their driver lineup, it'll be hard not to fancy them, to be honest, to take this. They've got Francis, very experienced driver, has been an AOR before. They've got Paul, they've got R2, and they've got Hugo as well. Think they're going to be the ones to beat. But watch out for TMC, because they've got CR7, Perpetuum, Wesker. Those three alone, I think, could challenge Livid for the title. So watch out for TMC, they're the ones to watch.
Absolutely. Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you subscribe as well. And obviously, James, you said your Twitter in the last League 2, obviously at B52Head. You can also follow me if you like at KSMCG F1. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this, James, and I hope everybody at home is too.
Yeah, I think everyone will be geared up for tonight. Of course, they've got to get their gears in on track. In the multiplayer card, we're going to be seeing one-shot qualifying, 25%. It is going to be a bit of a headache to commentate on in one shot. I normally followed on board with the driver in the League 2, just stuck with that, and then commentated down the left-hand side of who's gaining positions and whatever. It's going to be quite difficult for us, but I think it's going to be less difficult for the drivers out on track. But I'm looking forward to it, and we've got a full attendance, which is great.
Full attendance, and it looks like, from the looks of it, We have, yeah,
4 drivers each.
4 drivers each, and it's the it's as it says on the sheet. James, this has never happened before. This has
well,
never
we need
happened.
to get the party poppers out, honestly.
I think we must, yeah. Obviously, we've got some very talented drivers here, and obviously we have Livid, who have quite a few drivers, as you've already said, James, ready to basically seal this one for them. But there's a lot of work still to do. 2 races still to go, and remember, every single position is a point scoring position so long as you make it to the checkered flag as a player controlled car. We've had to say this many times, and hopefully one day we'll never have to say it again. Until then though, there it is again.
There it is again, exactly. And just to speak about actually the alternative point system, 25 for the win, 22 for second, 20 for third, all the way down to 1 point for P20. So even if you are down and out and a lap down, like somebody may be in this race, every point counts. You never know. The TTG Academy, you could be getting up to first place by the end of the night. You never know. That is the greatest thing about Mini League, and I love commentating this, and I love being with you as well, Kieran.
Oh, stop it, you. Stop that. Anyway, here we are at the fantastic Italian Grand Prix. 11 registered corners, and funnily enough, James, there's obviously you've got the 2 Lesmos and towards the second sector, but the Curva del Seraglio, the fast left-hander on the way under the bridge, under the old banking, isn't actually classed as a corner. According to the FOM, it's not classed as a corner, it's not a corner number, yet it's the Curva del Seraglio. Bit of an interesting fact, that one. If you don't count Curva del Seraglio, it's 11 corners around this track, with of course the legendary Ascari chicane and the Parabolica to the right hand side. We've got 2 Parabolicas tonight we're treated with, James. I much prefer the Italian Parabolica, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I've got to prefer the Italian Parabolica as well. There's more chance for an overtake, however, in the German Parabolica. But you never know, we might see some moves here. The Italian Parabolica, don't get confused. There are 2 DRS zones on this track as well, between turn 7 and 8, and on the start-finish line from turn 11 Parabolica down into turns 1 and 2. And we better get going.
Absolutely, and it looks like we are riding on board with Jack then as he makes his way towards the start-finish line. A long start-finish line as you make your way now down towards the Rettifilio chicane, one of the harshest braking points on the race calendar. You're all the way up towards 300 kilometres plus, slowing it all the way down to around 70 kilometres an hour. It's a harsh braking zone. Watch out for the exit and the rear tyres there as we now head through the Curva Grande. Banking to the right here helps the car steer in. You can carry more speed through there, so it's full throttle all the way now on towards the Roggia chicane. Turns 4 and 5, braking just before the 100-metre board. Watch out for the sleeping policeman, especially on that right-hander. Very easy to unsettle the car. Here we come then towards the Curva de Lesmos, the first Lesmo here as we come flying through, and then towards the second Lesmo. Much more speed can be taken through here. Grabbing that curve on the inside. Watch out for the gravel on the left-hand side. Now we're coming through the Curva del Seraglio, which isn't a corner, and then we go under the banking of the old legendary oval track here in towards Ascari. Turns 8, 9 and 10. The entry, you've got to take a little less speed, and then you can try and accelerate all the way through. Watch out for that left-hander curve. You can very easily unsettle the car and run too far down over to the right-hand side, and that can easily invalidate your lap time. Here we go then, the Parabolica, turn 11, down to 4th gear as you now got your way through the gears. Use that bit of green on the left hand side if you need to, but look at Jack here trying to make the steering wheel as straight as possible, and it is Hugo who will grab pole position, and it is a Livid Racing 1, 2, 3, and that will definitely boost their chances as we head towards round 3.
That's going to warm the cockle on the heartstrings, having a 1, 2, 3, honestly. Very impressive stuff. But top 11 separated by 7.5 tenths.
Yeah, that is exactly what we want to see. It's Hugo on pole position then with a 1:19.020. R2 is in second, Francis third, Honey Badger fourth, Jack in fifth, Lewis sixth, Simo in 7th, Poe in 8th, Perpetuum in 9th, CR7 in 10th, Jombalainen in 11th, Wesker 12th, Gerd in 13th, Ferrari in 14th, Sinclair in 15th, Sean 16th, Alan Kay 17th, Bishy in 18th, Warren 19th, and Lyronix in 20th. Warren and Lyronix's lap times were both invalidated on that lap. And interestingly, Bishy tried a lap on the hard tyres, Sinclair tried a lap on the mediums, but they finished outside of the top 10.
Yeah, it is a shame coming from their perspective, to be honest, but they have got a free choice of tyres, so that's what they might have just been delving into their race strategy more than anything else. Warren, by the way, he did have a crash, I think, at a Scari, I do believe. He was in around 6th or 7th place when he did that, so it was a good, strong showing in that first half of the lap for him, and watch out for him in the race.
Well, we certainly will watch out for him in the races. Plenty of front wings are ready on that on the pit lane. Obviously, 4 sets of front wings for each, I guess, and obviously they have to put the number on last. But it looks like there's preemptively numbers already on the front wing. That's a bold claim from each team, trying to guess who's going to have the front wing changed. I can see 54 on one of the front wings there. So that's a bold claim, James, to have the number already printed on the front wing.
Very bold claim, and I'm just going to have a feeling of there's the number 54 there, and I do believe that might be a Pog's car, is it?
It is Poe, yes. I believe so. As they make their way now down towards the Rettifilio chicane. Now this is going to be a nightmare for drivers to get through here. So narrow, so tight and so slow. There's bound to be at least one incident going through there, and then it's through the Curva Grande. Of course, the top 10 start on the tyre they qualified on, and anyone outside of the top 10 can go for whichever tyre they like, a fresh set if they really want to. Jon Verlainen starts on the medium tyres, Wesker on the softs, Gerdert in 13th on the softs, Ferrari in 14th on the softs, Sinclair, Sean, Alan Kay, Bishy, they're all on the medium tyres, Warren in 19th on the soft tyres, and Ironics there on the mediums. No one going for the hard tyres, and that's to be expected in a 25% race, James.
That is to be expected, of course. It is a 25% race. It's not a 50% race. They would be doing 26, 27 laps around here in a traditional league format. This is not a traditional league format. So it is going to be interesting to see. There's one-stop strategies galore here. And I think it's easy on the strategies, but what is going to be coming into play? Team tactics. Especially from, I'm looking down there, 15th to 20th. There could be a lot of team tactics going on there between the TTG guys. Be interesting to see how it all pans out. It'll be interesting to see who's quickest at the Livid guys up top.
Yeah, and for the Academy, the TTG Academy team, you've got Sean, Bishy, Warren and Alan Kay. Sean 16th, Alan Kay 17th, Bishy in 18th. You've got then Sinclair for the TTG Esports team. Not a huge and a great qualifying session for them. However, they've got to keep their heads up because anything can happen in these mini-league races, and quite often they usually do. 13 laps here await us at the Legendary Monza track with all the flags flying there, all the different support as we make our way now towards the grid. Can Hugo, R2 and Francis break away from the pack? Can Honey Badger and Jack for TTG Esports have something to say about that? What about Lewis, the highest CPI car with Simo right behind him? Should be an interesting one. Livid 1, 2, 3 and 8 as we make our way on towards the grid now. Eyes will all be on Hugo. What will his start be like? Of course, heading down towards the Rettifilio chicane, one of the tightest corners on the track, as we now head towards those 5 red lights here for round 3 of the mini league. It is 5 red lights. Round 3 is underway, and what are the starts like? The lights took ages to go out, but there's already a little bit of contact. There's already a bit of front wing off in the background. Not quite sure who it was, but the Livid cars are heading now down towards turn 1, and let's see if everyone can keep it clean through these first couple of corners. I'm not actually quite sure whose front wing came off there. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Honey Badger then up to 3rd place, Lewis in 4th, Francis down to 5th in that first start, then Sean all the way up to 13th, Jon Verlainen in 14th, but there is Hugo still leading them as we head down to the Rogier chicane. As we can see here, that is Perpetum following right behind Gurdon, and Poe there down to 10th place. Not been a great start for him either, as Warren is trying to make his way through the field. He did start 19th, now up to 18th now, but Hugo still leads this one out of the Lesmos and down the curve at Del Seraglio, as we have yellow flags in Sector 2. Now, who could that be? I believe it is Alan Kay at the first Lesmo. around there. Meanwhile, Ferrari for CPI is making his way now on towards Ascari, and he's got the position up to 14th place. He goes. Meanwhile, Jack is trying to chase down Francis. Then, of course, no DRS as it stands yet, because we're not on the third lap of this race. Lewis then, the highest CPI car right now, is up to 4th place. He's got Francis though right behind him. Francis has not had a great start. He's down to 5th place, having started in, I believe it was 3rd, but Hugo leads the way. Then R2 in 2nd, Honey Badger up to 3rd, Lewis in 4th, but the CPI car of Lewis is putting Honey under a bit of pressure then as we head now down towards turn 1. Of course, 209 miles an hour Lewis was in the slipstream of the TTG car. He's got the inside line for turn 2, but it's a tighter line, and look at that, Honey just about gets the traction he needs to get away from the corner, but that battle is not over, not by a long shot. He's also got the TTG Esports car of Jack right behind. Simo and CR7 are battling away then down towards the Roger chicane, and Jack just about heads his way. Honey is around the outside onto the gravel, and he's lost a bunch of positions there, and he'll lose one more here to Simo as we head in towards the first Lesmo. Just looked like he and Lewis were battling away, and it just looked like Honey Badger just had nowhere to go other than the gravel hard, but we'll have to see what the drivers make of that. I'm sure Honey will keep his head down and try and focus on getting those positions back, and it looks like, James, I haven't handed this mic back to you, and I'm still not going to, as Poe's going to go down the inside of Wesker in towards the entry of Ascari, and gets a 3-second time penalty in doing so. And then that is Wesker for TMC having to try and go back in the 3rd part of Ascari. That's certainly unorthodox. Didn't quite work out for him as we head up towards Parabolica. But Hugo leads from R2 and Lewis. James, take this mic off me or you'll never get it back.
Great racing. Seymour's right on the back of Jack though in behind, and looks like he could get the overtake done down into towards turn 1. Honey Badger as well getting involved in this. We could have 3-way down in towards turn 1. We are going to get 3-way down into turn 1. Who is your pick out of this? A little bit of contact going into the corner, looking all clean. Seymour is battling. Jack is defending that well. A little bit too well, I think, but he holds a position. And Honey Badger now fall into the clutches of CR7 and behind. Paul will just sit on and wait in behind as CR7, the Portuguese driver, now attacks the back end of Honey Badger. There's going to be very close in the side-by-side action, in fact, in front, as Seymour still gets... Well, he's not passed on Jack, and Jack defends that very well. Honey Badger just sticking him wheel into the grass, and CR7 back down the inside into the first. That's where he's got the move done. So TMC CR7 making inroads, and he's up to P7.
Ferrari has moved up a position for CPI. He's now up to 12th place ahead of Gert there. Of course, Gert racing for TMC, so it looked like Gert got a little bit of a bad exit out of one of the corners, but here is Bishy and Jombalainen, and actually Bishy is under pressure now from the TTG car. That looks like of Warren, and he does make up a position there. And Bishy here now down to 16th. Warren up to 15th. He did not get a good qualifying at all. There is Honey Badger, meanwhile, in towards Parabolica we go. He tried to go up the inside, but got a load of grass instead, as Jombalainen now moves up a position round the outside of Parabolica, and Jombalainen up a position, but now Gert is coming into the pits then, and one of the most difficult pit lanes. You're going from 150 mile an hour plus all the way down to that dreaded 50 miles an hour, and well, Honey Badger here has seen CR7 not have a great entry into the Rettifilio chicane. Can he try and take advantage? He'll have to go around the outside of Curva Grande, but no chance for him there. Might have a bit of a run here with the slipstream. Slingshot on the back of TMC's car here for CR7, but Honey Badger can't find that way past that he wanted to. Meanwhile, Jombalainen and Warren are battling away down in towards the Roger chicane. Jombalainen will have the outside line. Warren has to back out of it. He's still in 14th, and Sinclair does not try and go for that position for the academy team of TTG, and the academy team will be slightly sweating here because they're low down the order and they need all the points they can get right now. Meanwhile, Poe for Livid putting pressure on the TTG Esports car of Honey Badger. Surely not up the inside of Ascari. He's going to go for it up the inside, loses that back end, and Honey Badger saw that one coming. Somehow steers out of the way. But yeah, it just looked like Poe lost the back end under braking completely, just on the car there, but he's now going to try up the inside at Parabolica. Seems like a much easier move for Poe. The Honey Badger's still going to try and stick it around the outside. Can't quite do it though. He might try a cutback, or he might try and come into the pit lane, and he does. So Honey Badger into the pits then from what was 9th place, and Wesker then can now try and have a go at Poe down towards the Rettifilio chicane, and Francis here now trying to chase down Lewis for 3rd place.
Yeah, Francis just trying to go for a move there down into turn 1. Not going to work as Lewis is now beginning to pull that gap back a 5/10 of a second. Just to pick out on something, by the way, Papetum did have a little bit of a moment at turn 1. That was with Wesker when he was fighting. Francis just picked up a 3-second time penalty. That was on the lap before. Papetum is in. He did have front wing damage, so that's why he came into the pits early. That's why you're going to see Warren ahead of him as well coming out of the pits. But in the meantime, this seems to be the quietest we've seen the race so far.
I think so, but all the cars are still pretty close together. Hugo leads then, 1.5 seconds from his Livid Racing teammate R2. It is Lewis for CPI in 3rd place with Francis in 4th there. That is Jack in 5th place. You're watching him now go through the last part of Ascari, but Simo is right behind him. Look at this now in the slipstream, and the CPI car of Simo wants to try and find a way past the TTG Esports car as we make our way through Parabolica. Jack getting a wider entry, and Simo wanted to go up the inside but quickly realised that gap was closing and he might have actually cost himself time. No matter, because Jack is in, as is CR7 right behind, and we could see a lot of cars coming in. Wesker stays out with Poe behind him coming in, as well as Ferrari for CPI. It looks like Bishy and Lyronix here are staying out, so lots of action in the pit lane.
Seymour's just had a massive moment at turn 1, going over the sleeping policeman and losing time to Francis. He's lost nearly a second there. Seymour making a very characteristic mistake as Bishy is very slow and Lyronix is through. Bishy very slow out of turns 1 and 2, and Lyronix is through, and he is up to P7. But as you say, plenty going into the pits. Jumpalainen, interestingly, going for a set of softs, as well as Sinclair. And I do believe Jumpalainen will get out just behind his CPI teammate of Ferrari, guys. That's going to be interesting to see how that pans out as Sean is off.
Yeah, I saw that one from a mile away. He absolutely bunny hopped over that second sleeping policeman. I don't think I've ever seen a car get that much air through that sleeping policeman. But yeah, the car's a little rattled, but it looks like Sean's okay to continue. And that's what those yellow flags were for. Let's have a look behind then, because Ferrari guy is making his way through the first Lesmo, and he's got Jombalainen right behind him. And this might be a case of team orders. Of course, they become very apparent in this stage. However, they've got to be careful because Warren is right behind them in 16th place. It looks like Ferrari guy is going to just go over to the right-hand side. It doesn't look like he's going to battle too much for this. But Warren, look at that! He instantly defends the inside line. That is communication at key. That is great teamwork from the CPI guys. They did really well there to keep Warren at bay. Still not over yet, though.
Yeah, fantastic. I was watching that from Warren's perspective, and he did just feather off the throttle as well, going into the Ascari chicane. But now Jumpalainen and the Ferrari guy will be looking in behind. By the way, we have got a lot of activity coming into the pit lane. Warren is catching Ferrari guy, though, down the straight. This is going to be very interesting. Jack, by the way, trying to make that overcut work. Francis has just got out ahead of him at the pits. I'm just trying to pick up as much action as possible. Papetum has came out interestingly behind Warren. I think Warren could be on for a top 10 here, you know.
It could be, but he's got to be careful of those 3-second time penalties. They will come back to haunt him. Meanwhile, here is Poe then looking down the inside of the TMC car of CR7. No way through for him. He rather prioritises his exit through there. TMC CR7 getting a little bit of gravel on the rear left tyre. Won't do him much harm though. Meanwhile, Francis and Jack making their way through the second Lesmo and down the Curva del Serrallo. DRS wide open here for the TTG car of Jack. Then let's see what he can do. Will Francis try and defend as Hugo comes into the pits, gets a 5-second stop-go penalty. Meanwhile though, Jack has made the move stick on Francis, but he'll have a compromised run through Ascari here. Francis might have a go back as we make our way now up towards Parabolica. Now Francis here might let off the throttle, he might brake a little bit earlier so he can have the DRS, and that's exactly what he does there. Lifts off, lets Jack have the position, but now Francis will have the DRS down the main straight. Of course, both Jack and Francis have pitted in, so there's no need for them to stop again. But let's see Francis here open that DRS and now put that ERS up to overtake mode. You can see him closing and closing. Jack defends the inside line. Francis will have to go around the outside, and Francis decides it's not worth the risk. Brakes a little bit earlier, and Sinclair now sets the fastest lap of the race. Meanwhile, Jombalainen having to go around the outside of Wesker. Meanwhile, there's lots of battling happening behind Ferrari guy and Wesker. No, it's Papetum trying to battle for the same bit of road there, and somehow they both came out of it.
Papetum! Papetum's off. He's got into Lyronix.
Well, I mean, you had a better view of that, James. What happened there?
Yeah, he lost the back end totally out of turn 2, and he just collected ironics. Wrong place at the wrong time there. Maybe that battling just overdoing the tyres a little bit for Petton, losing his front wing in the meantime as well. And Warren did get that double overtake done, and he was going to get done anyways, despite the contact. Francis, by the way, all over the back of Jack into Ascari.
Yep, R2 into the pits then from the lead of the race, taking those soft tyres, 8 laps. That's a pretty impressive feat then as we head on to the 9th lap of this race. In fact, it would probably be the 10th lap. I'm not entirely sure actually, but let's see Hugo then.
Nope, we're on lap 9.
We are on lap 9, so Hugo then is going to take the lead of this race then, and it looks like pretty comfortably as well. But there is R2 leaving the pit lane, and there is Jack then. We've also got Lewis in the CPI car, and he rejoins, well, that's R2 rejoining ahead of Lewis. Meanwhile, Jack has got ahead of Francis. Francis looking down the inside, but then has to quickly back out of the move then, as Jack's just doing enough to defend right now. Francis in 5th place. Honey Badger and CR7 battling through turn 2, and Honey Badger just about getting ahead then of CR7. You've also got Simo in 8th, Jombalainen in 9th, Poe in 10th, as we have yellow flags in sector 1 here.
Fishy going across turn 1 and 2, taking the scenic route, let's just say.
The scenic route might be what he has taken, but the tyres won't appreciate that. Fishy looking in towards turns 4 and 5. Looked like he took a little bit of a compromised entry into 4, but didn't seem to affect him in the long run. Meanwhile then, back on board with Francis and Jack then, as we make our way underneath that old banking on towards Ascari. And again, Francis just trying to apply that pressure as much as he possibly can. Meanwhile, Jombalainen on those soft tyres is looking to try and carve his way through the field here for CPI. He's got his CPI teammate of Simo up ahead. I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of team orders here. But lots of battling, lots of on-track action to keep ourselves entertained. Meanwhile, we're just going to see how Francis gets on with another attack on Jack. 4 laps to go here of round 3, and it looks like Francis here has that slipstream, has that DRS, as Jombalainen has made a move on Simo then down the straight, and that looks like a little bit of team orders there. Got to be careful though of Poe behind. Meanwhile, Francis has to go around the outside of turn 1, and that is Jack trying to brake as late as possible there to try and keep that position. Meanwhile, TMC CR7 and TTG Honey Badger battling out of turn 2, and it looks like CR7 just about got the right amount of traction, but they're still side by side as we head through the Curva Grande. They're still side by side up ahead. Jack and Francis heading in towards the Roger chicane. I have no idea where to look. Jack gets ahead of Francis once again, and Honey Badger bunny hops across turn 5 there. That's not going to help his exit. Jombalainen now right behind.
Yeah, CR7 going into the gravel there as well. Sinclair's got through on Bishy, and he's gone past Warren as well, so Sinclair's making good eye-catching progress through the field. But 6-car train running down the hill here, down in towards Ascari. By the way, Francis is going to now attack from the back end again. He just thinks second of it, doesn't want to go for that dive bomb down the inside on Jack. As Honey Badger gets through on CR7, Jombalainen, Simo, Pog. Dear me, but Simo trying to attack Jombalainen. Sorry about the interruption there.
No problem at all. You've been through 2 leagues already, so it's no surprise there. You're out of breath. There is CR7 though. Look at this train, as you're saying, James. 6 cars here, and they're all going to have DRS, apart from the leading car, which is Honey Badger. Brace yourself for this turn 1. This could be interesting.
Oh my God.
We're looking at the CPI car of Jombalainen as CR7 attacks Honey Badger with the DRS. Jombalainen wants a piece of the action now. He'll have to go round the outside at turn 1. At CR7, it's a bit of Constantina affected to turn 1, and that looks like a bit of front wing damage to one of the cars behind. And is that Poe? No, it looked like front wing damage there from my view, but it actually looks okay. Meanwhile then, CR7 here making his way down towards the Roger chicane, as that is Honey Badger a little bit boxed in now, but he'll have to take the outside of turn 4. Jombalainen around the outside of turn 5. Little bit of hooking wheels there as they head towards the first Lesmo. Jombalainen still around the outside. Honey Badger is doing his utmost best to try and keep that position, but Jombalainen around the outside of the first Lesmo gets that move done. Not over yet though, because Honey Badger now will have a burst of DRS as they make their way now down towards that Ascari chicane. It is Honey Badger now round the outside of Jombalainen in towards the entry of Ascari, and now he's got that move done. Jombalainen here is going to try and prioritise his exit. He's got Simo right behind him here, who's being helped with that DRS. Meanwhile, Poe as well. Look at that triple toe he's got there. Riding on board here, we've got Simo trying to defend the inside line of Parabolica. He might actually have a bit of front wing damage on that left-hand side, might Simo, but he's still managing to keep up with the pack here. Yombalainen runs wide. That's going to allow Simo to have a run through. And look at Poe, just taking that slipstream. Now trying to make it 3 wide down the main straight. Can they keep it 3 wide as they make their way now down towards turn 1? Tightest corner on the track here. And I think wisely they've broken away from that 3 wide decision. And it looks like at the moment CR7 has broken away. Honey Badger then in 7th, Yombalainen 8th, Simo 9th, Poe still in 10th. It's literally as you were.
Absolutely brilliant racing. Francis, by the way, has got past Jack, and in the meantime, he's just got past him as well. So Jack was overtaken. Oh no, Francis letting him through. I don't know what's happened there. They go side by side through the first Lesmo, but Francis was ahead. So I'm not sure if Jack dive bombed him there, possibly. Bit of immaturity on that, but all of this battling is making me, and we've got Lewis, by the way, right on the back of R2 as well for 2nd place. This is unreal.
Well, absolutely. Jack and Francis still battling through that first part of Ascari, and Jack gets 4th place back. But I have a funny feeling that battle's not over just yet then. Meanwhile, Honey Badger is leading this train here. We've got Wesker, who's in the middle of this TMC car, trying to take advantage of me, while Francis still on the back of Jack. In all this battling and all this drama, we have started the final lap. It is Hugo in the lead, 4.2 seconds ahead of R2. And Lewis here for the CPI car. A little bit of a tap there on R2 in front of him in towards turn 1. And looking for a way past, but look at this midfield battle as well. We've got Francis who tried to move down the inside of Jack. We've got Honey Badger here trying to defend from Yombalainen. Yombalainen has to go around the outside. It's the inside for turn 2. And Honey Badger simply has nowhere else to go. And he gets nicked there onto the grass, and really he just had nowhere else to go. He tried to close the door at turn 1, and it came back to bite him in towards turn 2. Simo then up to 7th, Yombalainen in 8th, Poe then jumps up to 9th. He's opportunistic there in that move, and Jack and Francis still battling away. Oh, Francis around at the first Lesmo, has to reverse to get out of the way. Luckily Ghosts in time, but Hugo here making his way through Ascari as Francis now falls all the way down the field. He's got to make it to the checkered flag to score some points, as Hugo here makes his way around Parabolica for the final time in this race. And it looks like Livid here are on their way for a 1-2. Of course, we haven't had a chance to look at those penalties that the game has awarded. However, Hugo will be first across the line to win for Livid and to win here in Italy. He does get a 5-second stop-go penalty, and I think R2's not just going to do it, no, by 0.05 of a second. He misses out on that win. Lewis then for CPI finishing in 3rd place. Jack coming across the line in 4th, as it looks like Honey Badger now in trouble. He's in the gravel now. That is at Parabolica. And so we'll have to discuss about that once everybody's crossed the line. We've got Jack in 5th, Sinclair 6th, Simo 7th. We've got Poe in, Yombalainen in 8th, Poe in 9th, Wesker 10th, Warren in 11th. Goethe now moves up to 12th due to penalties. Francis finishing 13th, Ferrari for CPI in 14th, Honey Badger 15th, Bishy in 16th, and we're just awaiting for the last cars now to head towards the line. Sean then finishing in 17th place. Perpetuum and Lyronics here are battling away for 18th place, but of course this is a points difference between these two. Lyronics will have to go around the outside of Parabolica. A little bit of contact there as Perpetuum slam that door shut as they now make their way towards the line, and looks like Perpetuum for TMC is going to finish just ahead as they come across the line there. And Lyronics actually moves ahead on penalties anyway, ahead of Perpetuum, who finishes in 19th. And Alan Kay will come across the line in P20. But Hugo for Livid wins in Italy. And that is a Livid 1-2 at Monza.
Oh. Breathless.
Breathless, breathtaking, however you want to describe it. Livid with that 1-2 there. And that is a great win for them. Pretty much in control from the start of that one, apart from turn 1 and 2. However, they've earned this one. And with the CPR car of Lewis finishing in 3rd place, Francis in a bit of trouble towards the end. Of course, stay with us. We'll have all the reaction and fallout from round 3 here, with round 4 following close behind. And of course, we won't be crowning an official winner tonight because, of course, these are unofficial results. So here are your official, unofficial results. Hugo wins then for Livid with R2 in second place. It is a Livid Racing 1-2 with Lewis for CPI in third. Then it's to TMC cars, of CR7 in fourth place. 2 TTG cars of Jack and Sinclair in fifth and sixth. Simo finishing in seventh with Jon Bolainen in eighth and Poe in ninth. Wesker in 10th. Warren in 11th. Gert in 12th. Francis 13th. Ferrari in 14th. Honey Badger in 15th. Vishy 16th. Sean in 17th. Laronix in 18th. Perpetum in 19th. And Alan Kay is in 20th place. All the cars that started made it to the checkered flag. And what that means is all teams get to score points as we head towards round 4. Well, obviously, I had to cut you off there, James, for that final lap. However, you probably saw more than any of us did on that final lap.
Coming back to Honey Badger, I think he might have got a tap from Wesker. That has got to be looked into. I definitely heard a bit of a tap on that back end, so I think there's going to be some investigation there. But as you say, absolutely thrilling racing up and down the field. I've never seen a race so bunched up with all the battling. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch, and I think certainly it is going to be fantastic as we move to the Hockenheim in Germany. Of course, a track that is not going to be on the F1 calendar next season.
Well, we don't know that yet, James. We don't know that yet.
No, there's 22 races, and Spain fills the last spot.
Well, I take it with a pinch of salt. Nothing official yet, James. All just a draft.
Nothing official yet.
Yeah, nothing official yet. Wait for the official announcement. I guarantee you there'll be 23 races. The Mercedes
23? Goodness me.
Yeah. Well, it's getting bigger and bigger, the calendar, isn't it? It's just amazing. Anyway, yeah, so that is the Italian Grand Prix done, and that was battling all the way throughout. I felt like, James, there was a point there where I just didn't stop talking. So I do apologise about that.
Don't apologise. It's all in for a good cause. Absolutely fantastic racing happening out on track. And I'm not sure if we're going to have a points total. We might have a points total coming through in just a second. Who is the Finnish driver that's joined? Because I can't see his name.
The Finnish driver?
Right down on the bottom, just in the yellow name there.
Right down at the bottom. Oh, that's Simo.
Simo, he disconnected, obviously.
Yeah.
And Andy's tweeted out something out on Twitter. When at work, we're trying to keep up with the Formula 1 game F1 Esports event and Esports Mini League with TTGaming Esports. The annoying part is work computers have no volume, so I can't hear the brilliant commentary of King Kodiak, Justin, Kieran McGinley, and myself. That's commitment, Andy. That's commitment.
That is commitment. Well, you can't hear us, but yeah, you can't hear us, but get back to work. Just like we're getting straight back into the commentary box for the German Grand Prix, round number 4. Now, of course, we won't jump to conclusions. We won't say, yes, they've done it. We won't do that because, of course, these are official, unofficial results. So, obviously, there'll have to be stewards' inquiries and everything like that. So, that is what we shall do. And was I spectating, James? I hope I was.
Yes, you were.
Okay, that's good. All right.
Well, if not, I think you're going to be spectating anyways because there's 20 drivers. So
well, that's true. I mean, I can't do a lot wrong there, can I? I don't know. I probably could, to be fair.
Yeah, you could be replacing Seymour as a CPI driver in this race. Goodness me.
Oh,
That'll be.
I guarantee you, CPI will be absolutely livid with that one. You see what I did there?
Oh, terrible.
There you go.
Very punny. Very punny.
we need some TMC in this race. Get it? TLC. Anyway, we're heading to Germany. Oh, it's terrible. If only I could make a pun with TTG. I don't know if I can. Well,
no, we can't.
I tried. I did try. But turn 1 here seems to be notorious here in Germany, especially in a one-shot qualifying. It's fair to say you could see a lot of drivers retiring after the first corner, and that's why. It's just very easy to cut, and even if you go right to the outside, it's very easy to invalidate your lap time. So watch out for that one. You get through turn 1 though, it should be a pretty simple lap. Obviously you've got the DRS zone up towards turn 2 with the detection point just before the braking zone at turn 1. You've then got the second detection zone just after turn 4, just before you head over into the second sector and in towards Parabolica along DRS DRS zone, and that is where you need to overtake. Use the first DRS zone to close up on the car ahead, then use the second one to overtake down towards the hairpin at turn 6. Of course, then you got the fast right-hander of turn 7, and we're straight back on board here, and we're riding on board with Vichy then as he heads towards turn 1, using the curve on the left-hand side, and that could be an invalidated lap time already, and it is. Exactly what I said. So let's ride on board with Alan Kay then as he makes his way now up towards turn 2. And now watch the traction on the exit. And he's retired as well. Oh, this is not going well. How about Wesker? Wesker is the car we're riding on board with now. Hopefully, third time's the charm as we head through Parabolica here with the DRS wide open on our way now towards that heavy braking zone of turn 6, the heaviest on the track and the most opportunity for overtaking. Going over the curve there, and I think just about got away with that one. Watch the traction on the exit then as you head now towards the fast right-hander of turn 7, making your way now towards turns 8, 9, 10 and 11. I hold that it's only 2 corners here, however, apparently it's 4. There's turn 10 and there's turn 11. Yep, came out, you had a flash. Now coming towards the fast right-hander of turn 12. Use all the track and more if you can to try and optimise your exit and entry into the corner. Now heading towards Sachs curve of turn 13, slowing the car right down. It's banked towards the corner, so you can carry a little bit more speed through the chicane of 14 and 15, and then towards the Sud curve 16, and then through 17. And it looks like here Perpetum might grab pole position, which he does. Perpetum here for the TMC team grabs pole position. Great lap from him, but a lot of drivers failed to make the cut there through that turn 1. And yeah, a TMC car on pole position. So there you have it then for one-shot qualifying. Petum on pole, Warren in second place, CR7 in third, Hugo round 3 winner down in 4th place, Honey Badger in 5th, Lewis for CPI in 6th, R2 in 10th, Jompalainen in 11th, Gert in 12th, Laronix in 13th, Sean 14th, Ferrari in 15th, Simo 16th, Alan Kay 17th, Wesker 18th, Bishy 19th and Sinclair 20th. You had Ferrari guy, Simo, Alan Kay, Wesker, Bishy and Sinclair all not set lap times, with Simo and Ferrari retiring on their own accord, and Alan Kay, Wesker, Bishy and Sinclair getting their lap times invalidated. All the top 10 it looks like, starting on the soft tyre.
Yeah, again, top 11 separated by just over 7.5 tenths of a second, so looking quite succinct in terms of the top 11 within the timings. Gotta say, big mention out to Dill Warren. Second, and he's a part of the TTG Academy team. My hand was honestly in my head. My hands were honestly in my head because I thought he'd got pole position.
In your
That's
head?
how much it meant.
In your head?
In my head. On my head.
On my head. Okay. I'm just gonna...
If they were in my head, then that's going another way. Goodness me.
Do you have real life autocorrect by any chance?
I don't, sadly.
You don't?
No.
Because that seems like the sort of thing, in and on. That's the one that always gets me.
I need to get one of those AI robots that the thingy, and they can take my place in commentary next time.
It'd sound a bit robotic, wouldn't it? Anyway, on towards the grid then for the German Grand Prix, and we are now underway for the formation lap with the TMC car of Perpetum on pole position. CR7 for TMC also in 3rd place, so it's a good show from the 2 TMC drivers to put it in towards the top 10. There are other 2 drivers, Gert in 12th place and Wesker in 18th, but of course every position counts. Every position is a point scoring position so long as you make it to the checkered flag and you finish as a player controlled car. So Perpetum here has an interesting idea and an interesting decision to make. Attack turn 1 and hope for the best, or take it a bit lenient and avoid getting that warning.
He's got to watch out for Warren, I think. I think he's got to be more worried about the driver behind than anything else. And you can really see these two actually cracking on with the outlap here. It's like Max Verstappen round here. They're going so quick that they're going to be round before CR7, and CR7's pretty much holding up the rest of the pack. It's going to be quite interesting to see. Lyronix, Ferrari guy, Alan Kay, Sinclair, all on a set of medium compound tyres. That's the yellow wall tyre. And they'll be going on to a set of softs when it comes to around lap 10, I would imagine. And then we have got Jompalainen, Gert, Sean, Simo, Wesker and Bishy all on the soft compound of tyre. And for a top 3 prediction, I'm going to throw it out there and I'm going to say Lewis for the win, Francis second, and give me another name. Just looking down, take somebody random, Lyronix for 3rd.
Well, there you go. You've got Lewis to win, who's starting in 6th place. You've got Francis finishing in second, who's starting in 7th place, and Lyronics in 3rd, who's in 13th place. Bold claims from James. Let's see if his predictions pay off. We're moments away here from the German Grand Prix in the final round of the Mini League. Of course, we won't be crowning anyone tonight, but we have a strong suspicion that one team will prevail. We won't reveal all. Of course, we will reveal where you can find out in tomorrow's Twitter update. But for now, we are focused on round number 4, the finale of the Mini League 1. We are moments away then from this German Grand Prix. It is 5 red lights. Round 4 is underway, and what a start site. Looks like it's a decent start from Perpetuum. Warren here has struggled off the start, and TMC move into 1st and 2nd place. Warren now down to 3rd, and look at the 2 Livid cars then battling away with the TTG car of Jack. It's 3 wide there. Jack trying to force his way through the middle. Can he make it pay off? He can! Through the middle. They parted the Livid cars there. Yellow flags, and Ferrari guy is out of the race for CPI. The first retirement in League 1 tonight, as they now charge their way all the way down towards turn 6 now. You've got someone going right up the inside. God. The sun's in my eyes, so I can't really see who it actually was. But it's a little bit crowded as we head through turn 6 now. And we've got Lewis there up to 5th place. Still a little bit packed here as we make way through turn 7. Honey Badger right onto the curb there on the limit of control. And Francis there in 8th place, falling a little bit behind there. But Honey Badger now up to 7th. Jack there in 6th, parting the 2 Livid cars behind. And that looks like Sean in trouble back there.
Yep, Sean off. Not sure what happened. Might have been a tap from the back end. Lyronics is through on Gert as well. Coming through Sachs curve, in fact. Lyronics has got through and took the P12.
P12 then for Lyronics as he looks to try and make his way through the field and try and satisfy James's prediction of 3rd place. He's got a long way to go though. 1:17.7 from Perpetuum. Of course, it is the first lap of the race, so it's to be expected that he sets the fastest lap of the race then. Lewis for CPI looking at the back of Hugo, then up towards turn 2 we go. Gert moves ahead of Simo as further back then for 13th place. Meanwhile, Lewis there trying to prioritise the exit, and through turn 4 he goes. Of course, no DRS just yet. Poe moves ahead of Yombalina for 10th place. Lewis here trying to go round the outside of Hugo through Parabolica, but he'll have the inside line now for turn 6. Who will break later? Looks like Lewis will break later then. A little bit of contact between the 2 of them. Lewis has the inside line, a little bit wayward on the exit. That might invite Hugo here. Try at the inside of turn 7, but he hasn't quite got the exit nailed down there, and he loses out a position. The 2 TTG cars of Honey Badger and Jack going side by side now as they head through turn 8. Honey Badger having to go wide, but he'll have the inside line for 10 and 11. Might compromise his line a little bit on the run towards turn 12, and Jack thinking about a move up the inside of turn 12, and then instantly thinking, it's not worth it. It's your teammate as he makes his way now on towards Sachs curve. But lap 2 then, it's a TMC 1-2. Perpetuum leads the way from CR7 and Warren in 3rd place.
Yeah, Warren having a very poor start off the line, getting CR7 around the outside of him pretty much from the get-go, and he has set the fastest lap, and in fact, a lot of fastest laps being set. There's quite a few into the pits though. 2 of the two of the LR guys, R2, Paul is in, Seymour's in for CPI as well. There's a lot of battling happening on down the field. Francis, I think, will look very close to Jack here for a move, and this is P7 and P8.
Yeah, still lots of battling happening, but Francis, of course, has the DRS open. It's round 2 at round 4 between Jack and Francis. Then this time it's a Germany. Jack defends the inside line. Francis will have to go round the outside. He's got the line right now. Jack trying to just force his way down the inside, and it's worked for now as Francis has to stay behind. Meanwhile, Sinclair trying to get past Gert, and he has done. Up to 11th place he goes. Just watch out for Francis and Jack there. We're not sure what happened at the end of Italy, but we're sure it's not over here as we head to Germany. Lewis getting a bit wayward through turn 11. The car just didn't want to settle onto the track there, and he's lost a bit of time ahead of him to Lewis. But Hugo is now closed up right behind as they head through Sachs curve here through turn 13. Francis still on the back of the TTG car of Jack right up ahead. Meanwhile, Bishy is trying to put Wesker under pressure for 13th place.
Yep, Hugo's just coming into the pits as well. Not sure if anybody's filtering in behind. I don't think they are. So Hugo, very interesting tactics here from Livid. They think they might have it, but I don't know. It's a very short pit stop round here. Francis picked up a 3-second time. Probably that might come to bite him back on the backside.
Oh, CR7's around and out. He's out of the race from 2nd place. He lost the back end completely coming through turns 3 and 4, and he had nowhere to go but the wall, and he is out of this race from second place. That is going to be heartbreak for TMC. They were 1 and 2. Jack, meanwhile, up the inside of Honey Badger. Meanwhile, Francis is trying to take advantage of that too, as they're now side by side out of turn 6 through turn 7. That is Francis who's going to have the inside line. Honey Badger's going to try around the outside. Can't quite do it. Francis has a really good job there, but he's locked up into turn 8 there. Oh, a little bit of contact, and Honey Badger is up. Wide he goes and just about keeps it out of the wall there to fight another day. Not sure if there was a loss of back end there for Francis. We'll have to look back at that sooner rather than later. However, Francis is up to 5th place. Just might have been a loss of back end, could have been lag. It's not very clear from the stream, so we'll hold our tongues and not say any judgment for now, and just say that Francis is in 5th and Honey Badger all the way down to 12th place. Meanwhile then, lap 5, Perpetum leads for TMC, Warren in 2nd. It is Jack in 3rd now, as we have Lewis and Francis into the pits then. Jack in 3rd, Jomperline in 4th, Lyronix 5th, Sinclair 6th, Gert in 7th, Wesker 8th, Bishy in 9th with Lewis in 10th. It's quickly changing up and shuffling around. What we do know is that we have one fewer CPI and TMC car. We have a Ferrari guy who retired, and also we have a TMC CR7 who crashed out at turn 3. Those are your 2 retirements so far here at Germany.
Lewis getting the jump on Hugo, I think, coming out the pits. I might be wrong in saying that, but Lewis has got the jump on Hugo. By the way, coming back to that Honey Badger Francis incident, it was actually Honey Badger losing the back end. It was Honey Badger losing the back end. Snap of oversteer going through turn 9 and 10. That little, what's counted as 2 corners essentially. It's not even 2 corners. It was him that lost the back end and went into Francis. I was watching it from his perspective, and unfortunately that's him now down in 18th place. Lyronix getting close to the front end. My prediction coming true? Surely not.
Well, we'll have to wait and see as Perpetum, race leader, comes into the pits, as does Warren. Younger line and stays out, so he will take the lead of the race. Lyronix then will move up to 2nd place, and it is Jomba Linen who now leads for CPI, but he is yet to make a stop.
Yeah, Jack taking a very, very Hamiltonish line, let's just say, coming into the pit lane. That's why I went, oh, on the stream. Right, so all the way, all of the back though of Jumper Line, and now coming through Parabolica, not to be confused with the Italian Parabolica. He has got the run now on the medium compound of tyres. This is for the leader of the race. Lyronix is down the inside. Jumper Line and gives him the space. Is he going to get the switch back? He does. He's got the traction off. But Lyronix, just on the fresher tyres, is just going to outdo him down into turn 7. And so Lyronix has got the lead of the race. Is Jumper Line going to come back at him? No, he's not. Lyronix has got the lead.
Yeah, and remember those Lyronix tyres there, they aren't fresh. They started on the race on them, but he's now leading the race here in Germany, as we've got 2 TMC cars, 5th and 6th. Wesker, oh sorry, I misread that completely. Wesker in 5th, Bishy in 6th. Right? It's been a long, long day. That's all I can say. However, Hugo is in 9th place, trying to put some pressure on Lewis for CPI as they make their way now through Sachs Curve. Lap 6 of this race, and Jomper Linen comes into the pit. Sinclair stays out, so at the moment it is a TTG 1-2, but of course both cars are yet to pit in this race.
There's going to be one hell of a battle developing further down the field. This is going to be, I think, for potential net P5. R2 and Warren is beginning to get going, and Warren is looking quicker than R2 at this stage. And from a TTG Academy perspective, this could be the Lord's saving grace, that is still Warren, right on the back of R2. They come through Parabolica. Is Wesker getting close to Bishy? No, it's not.
There is Warren going around the outside of Parabolica, heading now down towards... He's got the inside line. R2 will have to take the outside line, and a bit of a tag from his teammate there, Francis, who couldn't quite slow the car down in time. But they're now going side by side as they now head through turn 7, and Francis takes the position. And I think R2 will feel a little bit aggrieved about that one.
He is going to feel a lot of a grievance about that. Francis diving it down the inside, couldn't get the car stopped, as you say, on the brakes. But that's just freed Warren into a bit of clear air now. He's 2 seconds behind Perpetum. And currently, by my calculations, Warren will be net P4.
Poe just clipping the gravel on the left-hand side and just about gathering up the car. Jack wanted to try it down the inside at Sachs Curve through turn 13, but the door quickly shut and he found himself onto the grass. Pepetta then sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:13.939. First person into the 1:13s in this race as they make their way through turn 1, riding on board with Poe. Livid are 7th, 8th and 9th at the moment, with cars ahead of them yet to stop in this race, more specifically Lawrence and Sinclair. So ideally there's 2 positions up for grab for them, so if they're battling away, this is for 6th place between R2 and Poe. And Poe here in the slipstream with the DRS, looking at the back of R2 as they head down towards turn 6 now. R2 will be hoping this one's a clean move between teammates, but they've got to watch out for Jack right behind, and Poe goes down the inside of R2. Then R2 tries a wider line to try and prioritise the traction on the exit, and Jack this time, will he try down the middle again? No, he won't. He'll follow Poe straight through. And now tries around the outside of turn 8. Oh, he's lost it! He's lost the car on entry and just about gathers it up. Somehow he keeps the car straight on, but yeah, just round the outside of turn 8, you can already see the car just wasn't going to play ball, and he's lost that position to R2 there. Bit of a hero then to not such a hero moment. He got past R2, but then just couldn't slow the car down into turn 8, and he's back to where he started.
Yeah, right rear as well did get caught on the grass, and that's why that car was sent into more of a spin than what you've seen. He has lost that position to R2, but I'm very surprised because he is keeping up with him. He's only 4/10ths off as they run through, as Wesker forces a move down on Alan Kay. Bit of a sarky move, if I've got to be honest, there, as we've had a change for the lead. Sinclair's through on Lyronics.
Yeah, it just looked like there that Alan Kay actually lost the back end through turn 16, and then Wesker got an opportunistic move up the inside there. He was half a car alongside, and he got the move done through turn 17. So Sinclair then leads, but of course Sinclair and Lyronics are still yet to stop in this race. They are 8.2 seconds ahead of the CPI car of Lewis. Meanwhile then, we're back to this 4-car battle then. We've got Poe, we've got Jack, we've got R2, and we've got Jompalainen making their way towards turn 8. We've got R2 there trying to defend and attack at the same time there, and just putting his car on the inside. No one could get through, but he couldn't really attack anyone ahead of him. Jack still, meanwhile, trying to get a way past Poe. So Jack has actually found a way past R2 once again, and now he's facing Poe, and this time he's in full control of his car.
Yep, that move was made down at the inside of the hairpin. Honey Badger has gone past Fishy as well, just in behind. Of course, fresher tyres really for Honey Badger getting involved. But Jack, I think, looks quicker out of these 4. He's right on the back of Poe as they're coming through into turn 1. He's not going to be close enough for a move. He could prioritise the run Poe a little bit. And a little bit of lag going on, I think, there. Jack is down the inside of turn 2. Has he got the move done? I think he's got to force him off track. Poe force him back off track. Jack's got it! Jack has got it! Brave stuff! Brilliant move!
Yeah, and that all happened with Poe just getting a little shaky out of turn 1. Not over yet, though. As we head now down towards turn 6, and Poe and R2 trying to make amends here as we make our way now down towards turn 6. That is the CPI car of Jompalainen trying to make it 3 wide up the inside around a tight hairpin. Not really going to work. However, Jack powers his way through, and that is R2 then up the inside. There goes Poe around the outside and then up the inside.
Oh, what's he doing?
Bit of a collision there between R2 and Jack there as we make our way through 10 and 11. We'll come back to that one later. However, that has allowed Poe and Francis through. Poe and Jompalainen through up to 8th and 9th. Sinclair comes into the pits then, so Lyronics stays out for yet another lap with 7 laps to go here in Germany. It is Lyronics who leads then. Lewis will take 2nd place. Hugo then 3rd. Perpetum down to 4th. So Hugo at some point has got away past Perpetum. Might have just lost time in the pit lane. However, TMC had that opportunity of a 1-2. It has quickly fallen through their hands at the moment. But there is that is Sinclair coming out the pit lane in 8th place on a set of soft tyres. I wonder how far he can make it up the grid.
He's going to make it so far up the grid. He's going to be about probably around half a second or a second quicker, as he is already passed on Paul. Paul, an absolute sitting duck through Parabolica, and Sinclair is through already. He's up to P7. That is a net P6, actually, because Lyronics still to come into the pits, remember. So Sinclair's through. And look at the gap he's now beginning to pull out. He is pulling out that gap. Jompalainen did have a loss at the back end. Fishy, Wesker, Seymour, Shonal battling further down the field in the meantime, and Fishy and Wesker come into contact at the hairpin. Aye. Well, that's all from me.
Well, Alan Kay's making his way up to 17th place. He'll take that position. at Wesker, Sean and Simo battling away as Bishy has left the session, and that's not what the Academy need. They need all the points they can get. And with Bishy an AI car, that means if he finishes with an AI car, he will not score any points whatsoever. That's a disaster for the Academy team. Meanwhile, then with Lyronics into the pits, it then hands the lead to Lewis for CPI. It is Hugo in second, Perpetum in third, Warren in fourth. It's CPI 1, Livid Racing 2, TMC 3, and TTG Academy 4.
That's what we like to see. Warren is doing a great job. He is losing that time. Those Perpetum is right on the back of Hugo as they come into the hairpin. He's outbroke himself completely, and that is only going one way, and that is out wide. And Perpetum looks quicker out of these three. He's just trying to over a little bit too much. There is a three-way battle, by the way, going into the hairpin. Lyronics, Jack, and Jumpalainen, this is, I do believe. And surely I have not seen that. Has Lyronics just done them round the out, both of them round the outside of the hairpin?
I think he has.
No
He's up
way.
to 8th place. Well, that means then...
What a move!
Lyronics then up to 8th place. Jack then in 10th, trying to chase down Jumpalainen, but Lyronics and Sinclair are on a charge here. They've got a handful of laps to go. They are trying to make their way up the field. Meanwhile, then Sinclair's caught up to the back of Francis on those soft tyres. Now, those soft tyres will be good for about 2 or 3 laps. However, after that, they'll start to wear out and be about the same condition as the medium tyres. I've just picked up on something. Jack does have front wing damage on the left-hand side of his front wing. That's why he's struggling through these mid-speed corners, and that's why R2 has been able to stick with him as we head now through turn 1. Meanwhile, Sinclair now trying to go around the outside here at turn 2. But no dice for him right now. He'll try a little bit of a switchback here on Francis. Of course, he will have that DRS and that slipstream. He's got slingshot on that rear wing, and it looks like Sinclair here is going to slingshot past Francis as we make our way now down towards turn 6. Will Francis try and have a go then? Sinclair defends the inside line. Meanwhile, Lyronics and Poe making their way now down towards turn 6. You've also got Jack and R2 battling away down towards turn 6 as well. So many people choosing turn 6 to try and overtake right now. Perpetum has had a little bit of a moment in the Mercedes section. He's now dropped off the 2 leaders here of Lewis and Hugo. Meanwhile, Jack still trying to battle away with R2 through turn 8. He's got that position done for now, and through 10 and 11, he'll have that position wrapped up nicely there on towards turn 12. Although he did get a little bit caught on the curve through turn 11 there, and Jack through turn 12, as you can see how much that front wing is affecting, especially through turn 12. That's such a high aero dependent time of the circuit, and that front wing is not going to do him any justice whatsoever.
Yeah, it is affecting Jack considerably. In R2, it's going to be a case of what factors more, the front wing or the tyres, because R2's tyres are now beginning to go off as well. So it's going to be a bit of a tap-for-toe sort of battle here for P10 out on track. In the meantime, Sinclair is all over the back of Warren already, and he's going to slingshot past him very easily. Sinclair's already up in the P4. There's no need to commentate really on that one. R2 right on the back of Jack though, running down through Parabolica.
Jumpalainen and Poe. Jumpalainen and Poe battling in towards turn 6 there, and that is Poe up a position ahead of Jumpalainen. Meanwhile, R2 and Jack still battling away. Jack is trying to limp home with that broken front wing. He's really desperately trying to hold on to positions, but that is falling away by the 10th of a second, especially in those high aero, high speed sections. Meanwhile, Lewis still leads from Hugo. Perpetum has caught back up to this pack after that mistake. He's now within 0.4 of a second of Hugo ahead. So this might show here that Lewis, although he's leading the race, he might just be setting himself a delta and sticking to it. Lap 15, 3 laps to go. Lewis leads for CPI. It is Livid and Hugo in second. TMC, Perpetum in third. TTG Sinclair Esports team in 4th, and Warren, the TTG Academy, in 5th. All teams currently occupy the top 5 spots.
That's what we like to see. It's been very competitive racing. Hugo is going to have a real run here on Lewis as they come down towards Parabolica. Oh, Lewis is on the grass! Lewis, what on earth?
I think he got distracted by the ghost car ahead of him, and that's going to allow Hugo to go straight up the inside. Yeah, he definitely got distracted by the ghost car there. Thought it was a real car. Now look at this. Lewis is under pressure from Perpetum, the TMC car. Trying to go now around the outside at turn 8. He's going to run about a road, and Lewis just about defends that second place. But Hugo handed the lead on a plate there as Lewis takes to the grass.
Don't think I've seen anything like that before. Lewis, he needs to keep his cool. He got distracted there by Bishy's AI car. They were lapping that AI car. And sadly, it's cost Lewis the lead and a potential win, because Perpetum now over the back of him as well at his home track. I tell you what though, Warren is keeping tabs on Sinclair. It's only 7/10 of a second, and Lyronix is not getting any closer to Francis at this stage either. So the softs maybe just begin to wear off slightly.
Yeah, I think this is the time now. This is the cut-off point for those soft tyres where they start to have, they're around about the same wear as the medium tyres. So from here, it's going to be downhill. So Sinclair's got to do well to keep those tyres in check then. 2 laps to go, and Perpetum here in the slipstream of Lewis. Will he try and have a go down towards turn 6? To me, he looks too far back, but that is only to me, as Perpetum much later on the brakes, you can see there, sort of out-braking himself into turn 6, but then prioritising the exit. As we now head in towards turn 7. Hugo still leads though for Livid. Lewis in second, Perpetum in third, Sinclair in fourth, managing to break that DRS from Warren. Meanwhile, Honey Badger and Jack then, that looks like a simple swap of positions then, as Honey Badger now moves up to 11th place. Jack meanwhile, Lyronix meanwhile on the soft tyres, now trying to close in on Francis. Francis running a little bit wide on the exit of 11 in towards turn 12, getting very close to that left-hand side wall. You have to open up this corner. And Francis here under a bit of pressure from the TTG Esports car of Lyronix behind. And Hugo any minute now will start the final lap of the race, and there he goes. So Hugo looking to make it 2 wins back-to-back here tonight in rounds 3 and 4 for Livid. We'll have to check those penalties as they come across the line. No point checking them in a 25% race. There's so much action going on. We don't want to miss a thing. As Hugo and Perpetum. Oh, Perpetum's around! Perpetum is around at turn 4. And I don't know if he lost the back end. We just come onto that very late on the stream.
I thought it was Lewis that lost the back end. It might have been Lewis that lost the back end. That's very, very peculiar.
Well, in the meantime, he's going to try and defend, but that is all. Lyronic's gone into the back of Perpetum. He's lost that front wing, and now Perpetum's just trying to limp home now with no front wing whatsoever. Lyronic's up the inside. He's going to have less downforce, and there goes Perpetum straight off. That's what that aero does to you. You can't slow the car down. You can't take that corner as fast as you could anymore. And TMC, it has been a race to forget. They were at one point 1 and 2, but Hugo kept his head down and has managed to make it through 17 laps here at the German Grand Prix. Hugo, twice in a row, is going to win here in Mini League 1 for Livid Racing. Lewis comes across the line to take second place. Sinclair, meanwhile, will jump him on penalties. So Sinclair in second, Lewis third, Warren in fourth, with Francis in fifth. And that looks like he's still battling away. Give credit to Perpetum for still battling on those final couple of laps. But it's Jumperline in seventh, Perpetum then in 8th place, Poe in 9th, R2 in 10th, Honey Badger in 11th, with Jack in 12th. We'll have Gert in 13th there. Simo looks like he's going to try and cross the line in 14th place there, as they all come past through. Gert in 12th, Simo 13th, Honey Badger drops to 14th, with Sean in 15th, Wesker, the other TMC car, in 16th place. Alan Kay is on the lead lap in 17th place, but remember, Bishy is a ghost car. His points will not count, and for the Academy team, that could be the dagger in the heart of what was already a very, very big task. But we're waiting for Alan Kay to cross the line to claim that 17th place. But for Hugo here, what a dramatic race. I said he was in control of the last one. He definitely wasn't in control of this one. He won't care though. He takes race win number 2 for tonight and grabs a second win for Livid on the night. It doesn't matter how you win them, it's that you win them. And that has been the case here for Hugo. 2 out of 2 tonight. And he's done his bit to help Livid try and capture that top spot. And the only question is, we'll have to find out tomorrow, subject to stewards' inquiries, whether Livid will be winners today. But they have put in some dominant performances here. And looking at the points there, I believe... well, I'm not going to say anything because the last time I tried to do maths in a mini league, it went horribly, horribly wrong. So I'm going to stay out of it. However, what I can tell you are these official, unofficial results, which will be coming on your screen anytime now. It is Hugo who grabs the win today. Sinclair, from 20th on the grid, grabs second place for TTG. Lewis in third there for CPI. It's Lyronix in fourth. Warren for the Academy of TTG in fifth place. Francis in sixth. Jomperleinen in seventh. Perpetum, having lost that front wing very late on, still managed to limp home in place. Poe in 9th with R2 in 10th. Jack in 11th, Gert in 12th, Simo in 13th, Honey Badger 14th, Sean in 15th, Wesker 16th, and Alan Kay wrapping up the final, at least, point scoring position with Bishy crossing the line as a ghost car. That means his points will not count. CR7 crashing out at turn 3, pretty much a carbon copy of what happened to the other TMC car earlier on. This time he only lost a front wing, and Ferrari guy for CPI in 20th place. And that will do it for the Esports Mini League 1. Make sure you are following Esports Mini League on Twitter, and you'll be able to find out the results and the confirmed results tomorrow. But I think I have a pretty good inkling, James, of who's managed to win this one. However, I can't say anything because it will be confirmed tomorrow. So all I can say for now is make sure you are following Esports Mini League on Twitter to find out the results tomorrow, and their handle on Twitter at Esports Mini. So make sure you're following them so you'll get all the results. James, what? I can't believe it. We've made it through another night, and this was great racing. A real testament to the drivers out there. It was as clean as it possibly could be, I think, for a team race.
Yeah, clean and competitive on the most part from quite a lot of the field once again. I think I echoed this in Mini League 2. Every team should be proud of their drivers. Every driver should be proud of their performances, because what they've put on tonight, both in Mini League 2 from my perspective and from Mini League 1 tonight, absolutely brilliant racing, and everyone deserves a lot of credit here tonight. Fantastic racing, and I might just add, Sinclair, what a performance. 20th to 2nd, unheard of.
Well, that's the alternate strategy working as a dream. I mean, I wish I made the alternate strategy work like that. I can't do anything like that. Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed the coverage tonight. As I said, make sure you follow Esports Mini League on Twitter. It's at Esports Mini, and you'll be able to find out the results of League 2 and League 1 tomorrow prior to Stewards' inquiries. You can follow me whilst you're there if you like, at KSMCG F1, and you can also follow James whilst you're there as well.
Yeah, come and follow me at B52Head. I might be tweeting a lot about Sunderland tonight because apparently the interruption in race 1 was that we were winning 3-1 away against Burnley. So I'm not sure if that's true. Hopefully it is.
Oh, you can't get away from football, can you? Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's been a real pleasure covering this one. Until we meet again, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.